Hello everybody, Andy here again. Well, this is the anniversary of my YouTube experience. Well, it was actually last week, the 14th of August. I've been here now for 3 years, and as is traditional with all these type of milestones that you do, and I made a video recently about my 500th video. This will be my 520th, by the way. And I've done sort of anniversary videos in my first year and my second year, and now my third year. So why do we do that type of thing? Yes, it's a big milestone, but I think it's a celebration because of what the site has done for us. I was thinking about this earlier on. I've been thinking about making this video. I just haven't had the time to do it really. And sort of paraphrase the old Monty Python thing that came out, the scene there in Monty Python's Life of Brian about what have the Romans ever done for us? And I thought, well, what has YouTube done for me? Or what has YouTube done for us? Maybe you can answer that one yourself, how it's changed your life. And I think without overblowing it too much, I do believe that this site has changed my life in some ways. Not completely, obviously, I'm not that sad, I don't think, but it's changed my life and it's pushed my life in a different direction, a good direction, which is why I'm still here. I've seen several videos recently of people who joined the site at a similar sort of time. I think I saw one by Zipster, I saw one by Geriatric 1927. People who started on this site at around about the same time that I did. There was a slight surge in interest in the site, I suppose a bit of notoriety maybe. There was certainly some media interest over here because of Peter, Geriatric 1927, getting on there. I was just literally started watching videos, and it was Peter who inspired me to make videos, as did people like Zipster and Renato and those other people who were around at that sort of time. And I've got more and more involved in it, and it's changed my life in lots of ways, apart from the fact of making videos, which I never would have thought of before. And please forgive me straight away for going over ground that I've gone over probably countless times, but as I said, this is a sort of a standalone video. I've mentioned lots of these aspects of my experience here before, but I think it's valid to talk through it once again for my own purposes and to say what I feel about this site. And I said it enabled me to make videos. It took me out of the sort of life that I was leading at the moment. I often look back and think, well, what on earth did I do before I started YouTube, either watching videos or making videos? Maybe that's something you can answer as well. And you suddenly think, well, hang on a minute, it's changed my life. Even if you don't make videos, it's changed your life because of the watching of the videos and maybe the interaction that you do. But if you make videos as well, life becomes a sort of a video making experience. You're often thinking about the next video that you might make. Sometimes it's that burst of inspiration, I don't know. We all approach this in different types of ways. Some of us do regular bulletins or whatever, and we do little broadcasts or whatever it might be, and we try to put a certain amount of videos up at any one time. I'm conscious of the fact that I don't put videos up sometimes, and I think, oh, I haven't put a video up for a while or something like that, and other times you get bursts of enthusiasm. It doesn't bother me particularly. I just put them up when I get the inspiration, either from somebody else or something, and that light bulb moment comes on. But I wouldn't be doing this without YouTube. I wouldn't be thinking that way. It's opened my eyes and made me look at things outside, in the real world. It's made me look at things in a different light to what I did before because of this site. That might sound a little bit strange, but sometimes you maybe analyse these things and look at it a bit more. You might, if you take a step back and sit back, you think, well, yeah, I can see where you're coming from there. It's changed my life in other ways that I've mentioned before about the sort of confidence factor, talking into a camera, maybe talking generally and helping you to put your arguments out there, formulate arguments, speak off the cuff maybe without thinking about things too much and just turning on the camera. That's a skill, I suppose, that I've learnt through this. As I said before, maybe this is something that I was always, say, meant to do, but you know, it's something that you were waiting for to happen, and I just, a vlogger in waiting, and now I've got that opportunity. Let's see, guys. They're really noisy tonight. They might start putting me off. But the other aspect is the people that I've met, and I think that's the big thing about this site, and I've seen other people saying the same things. It's changed our lives with the people that we've met. whether literally that we've met or the people, that sort of community of people. I'll speak about the people that I've met because that's obviously the most tangible side of it. We talk about the internet and the friends that we make and are they real friends, but then when you actually meet these people like I've done, whether it be in this country, but really I suppose that the highlight for me and the one that illustrates it the most is when I went across to America last year to meet people that I knew from this site. Now, to somebody outside, that's pretty mind-blowing and it's pretty strange as well, but only people on here maybe can actually understand that, why we do that. Would I have ever done that? And I've seen so many other examples of that as well, who people have met online, people who got married because of the relationships they formed through this site, on the internet generally, but I know of marriages and probably made in heaven that have been made in YouTube, should we say, or on YouTube. That's pretty big, I think, and that just illustrates the power of this site, especially this type of thing, the vlogging sort of side of things. Yeah, other video making has got its place, of course it has, and it's just as valid as a vlog is, but because of that aspect of you feel that you're getting to know the person by watching them regularly, by you can see them growing up, you can see them changing, you're experiencing my emotions, possibly things that I do, and that's how we get to know each other. It's like having a friend, maybe you can't touch them, but they're there, that's how we keep in touch with people. It's a virtual friendship maybe, but when it does cross over into a real friendship and you do actually get to meet these people, that's pretty big, and I think that's something that's changed a lot of our lives, because you don't look back from that type of thing. And as I said in my recent video, The Tipping Point, YouTube was the site that made me start using the internet in a completely different way to what I've ever done before, and has influenced what I've done ever since. YouTube is the site. I've dabbled in lots of different sites, whether it be Vloggerhead's live video, very briefly, but all the other sites that I use, the daily booths and the blog TVs and all, the Twitters and Facebooks and all those type of things. I may well have used those sites, but I don't think I would ever have been exposed to them in the way and used them in the way that I have if it hadn't have been for YouTube initially. Because once I met the people on here, once I got to know the people on here, I started caring for the people on here. They led me onto these other sites. It was through that experience that's drifted me off. I probably would be on the internet, yes of course I would if it wasn't for YouTube, but I bet my internet experience would be completely different to what it is now. I moan about YouTube and say, what has it ever done for me? It's frustrated me a lot of the times. It's made me angry as well, because of the way that the site is run sometimes, and we sit back and we get completely exasperated about the latest change they want to bring in, or the latest change that they do bring in, the supposed upgrade in that inverted commas, not just on this site but other sites as well. When you see the word upgrade coming, I'm thinking, oh no, your heart sinks, doesn't it? Because they might fix one thing, something else changes. But through it all, we're still here. I've seen the highs and I've experienced the highs and I've experienced the lows on this site as well. We've all seen it recently, people leaving the site, not making videos or whatever. And as I said before, that's because this experience has led them on to other things. And probably they would all say the same thing. It's YouTube, which is that sort of common denominator that we all have, which then allows us to meet people and then maybe extend those friendships elsewhere, those marriages, but other real lasting bonds of friendship as well that we meet. I see people regularly who are constantly meeting up. They combine Twitter meetups with YouTube meetups. They're the same type of thing, and there's something there. It's very hard to put I'm sure you people out there understand it. It's very hard to get other people to understand it as well. And as somebody said to me the other day around this type of topic, is that we're the lucky ones. I consider myself to be the lucky ones. I consider myself to be very lucky, privileged maybe, to have been on this site for the 3 years that I have been. And I feel very lucky to have found the site when I did. I know a lot of us hark back to those supposed golden age of sort of 2006, and in some ways it was, but I feel lucky, and I know I've heard other people say, oh, I wish I was around in those days, and I feel privileged to have been around then, and through the time as well. I'm still meeting new people all the time. Other people go, other people come. Maybe they've gone on to other sites. I interact with people on other sites that maybe don't use this site quite so much, but once again, there's that common denominator. It's YouTube that got me there in the first place. And as I said, I feel that we're the lucky ones that we found this. There are so many people outside that that I know, that don't understand this site, don't don't know that it exists, or the way that we use the site exists. I'm sure there's a lot of people who actually actively use YouTube for watching videos and maybe even making videos who don't know about what we're doing here, the vlogging aspect of it, those friendships that we make. You can make friendships possibly with other types of video makers, because as I said before, it's the vloggers that are a different type of person, because we can see them talking, we can hear them talking, we're experiencing their lives, and that's something a little bit different. So I feel very privileged to have been here. I consider myself to be a lucky person in that respect. As I said, this has changed my life in lots of ways. It's continuing to change my life, and long may that continue. I don't intend going anywhere. As I said, I've seen the highs and the lows. Recently there's been a bit of a dip, whether it be in the activity of on the site, people leaving, as I said, but people making maybe not quite so many videos as they used to, myself possibly included. Real life gets in the way and we start drifting off to do other things, quite often, as I said, with the same type of people. But I have started to notice very recently, through a couple of videos, I'm not going to go into it, but a couple of videos that have been made that seem to have inspired people to start making videos again, or inspired just to make one video, or to get people talking about that sort of community aspect that we have here, and even talking about what we have here, the friendships that we have here. Hopefully we can start entering a golden age of YouTube, maybe get some new people in here, maybe get some of those older people back that I'd love to see vlogging again, and maybe get that community back together, the collaboration videos, whatever it might be, that really cement what we have here. So that's my thoughts. As I said, 3 years, a bit of a milestone for me. I'm sure it'd be a milestone for anyone. 520 videos, etc, etc. I go through highs and lows of video making, bursts of enthusiasm and a bit of lack of enthusiasm sometimes, and I get frustrated when I can't come here and watch videos or make videos. You know, you don't have that time to devote to a site, to devote to the people that you've got here, and even on the other sites that I've gone towards as well, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the daily booths, and even emailing different people, etc. I never had the time to Skype with people that I've always wanted to. That's what life is like. But if it hadn't been for this site, I wouldn't be thinking about that all the time, because I would never have met those people, whether in real life or through the lens of a camera, through a video here on this particular site. So I consider myself lucky. I think you should consider yourself lucky that you're able to have a site like this, as much as we bitch and moan about it, and I can do that with the best of them. But ultimately, when you look at it, stand back and take a look. We're lucky to have a site like this that is free, available to everybody. We can, within reason, put up exactly what we want to, and we can meet and interact with people across the world, people of all different ages, races, colour, creeds, sexual preferences and everything like that. And I've met a lot of people that I would never ever have come into contact with if it hadn't have been for this particular site, and for that I'm very grateful, and hopefully I shall be here for another 3 years and maybe a bit longer as well. So thanks for your time, thanks for being here for me for the last 3 years, or however long you've been here, and let's hope that relationship will last for a lot longer. Thanks for your time, I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.